You've been a bit lucky with the finals at Man United. You were injured for Villarreal, missed a couple under Eric, and then you were injured again for the FA Cup final. It must mean a bit more to you, obviously playing in this next one.
Yeah, I think obviously missing the Villarreal one was a big one for me. Captain of the club at the time and a big part of that team, and maybe the result would have been different if I'd have been in the team. That's what I felt. And then missed last year as well again, where I was playing every week under Eric, and then missed the cup final, so it hurt. But the lads put on a great performance, so it makes it a lot better when you win. The Villarreal one hurt a lot more than the cup final just because of the result.
And has it kind of tracked your United career a little bit? Because I remember sitting and watching you train before Villarreal. We were all just waiting to see whether you were going to train, because at the time you were the main man. You kind of dipped a little bit and then back to being sort of the main man again.
Yeah, definitely. At the time, I was an important part of that team. We had a good team that year. We played really well. We had a good defensive record, but I had a nasty ankle injury. So I know there was times and talk of me. I was nowhere near fit for that final. I pushed and pushed, but I was still struggling to jog. Never mind being able to go and play a final. So looking back to that game, I actually think we played pretty well in the game. We was unlucky to not win the game in extra time. But yeah, it's always nice to get another opportunity against Spurs in another final, and we'll be ready for it.
To play in that final, to start that final, given where you were at one stage under Eric, not really playing, what would that say about yourself and how hard you had to battle back to become kind of the main man again?
Yeah, no, it'd be, obviously we don't know the team or what's going to happen over the next 7 days or so, but to be in that team would mean a lot. Every person in that dressing room should be fighting every day to be in that team, because that's what football's about. You want to be in these big games, these big moments, the pressure moments, and you want to play them. You want to be part. But it's not. We know it's not going to be 11 players. It's going to be players off the bench. I think you've seen against Bilbao how much they changed the game. Who come off the bench? The three lads who come off made a huge difference. So it's a squad game. But yeah, it'd be really pleasing to walk out in that final and represent Manchester United.
I always feel slightly sorry for you, because it feels as though in times of crisis, we'll send out Harry Maguire to talk about the situation. What's your assessment of this season for Manchester United?
No, I think there's no doubt it's been really difficult. I think the last couple of months we've without saying too much, we've focused on Europa League in terms of the starting 11. I mean, I can't remember the last time I played 90 minutes in the Premier League, to be honest. And I've played all the Europa League games. So no, it's been frustrating. It shouldn't be like that, because 2 months ago we should have been in a better position where we should be fighting for those Europa League positions and the Champions League positions, and that's what this club demands. So when we found ourselves out of the Carabao and the FA Cup, it really gave us an opportunity in the Europa League, and we've performed really well in it, I must say. Difficult start maybe with a couple of draws, but no, we've performed really well, and listen, we know it's not been good enough this season. It's been nowhere near good enough for this club. It's been nowhere near good enough for our standards, and next season I know we will improve.
I know as players you're not trying, but when the manager comes out and says something immediately after games the way that he did on Sunday, does it sting a little bit?
I think the result stings, to be honest. I mean, we're at home against West Ham in a full packed Old Trafford. But little moments decide games, and I keep saying it. We've just been nowhere near good enough at defending our box and in the opponent's box this year. They change games. I mean, we go away to Bilbao and the first goal changes the game. The first 30 minutes of the performance wasn't incredible performance. It was sloppy, but a goal changed the game. We're playing West Ham, and I'm obviously sat on the bench, and I'm watching the game, and we're controlling the game, we're dominating the game, and their first attack, they go and score, and it's 1-0, and then it's just difficult. The first thing we need to do coming into next season is we need to be a lot more dominant in both boxes, and if we want to be successful, goals change games, and this year we've been nowhere near good enough in both boxes.
Hi, Harry. I want to ask you about the dignity you show, because you've been a cult hero for England, and yet we went through a really dark time here a few years ago. There was one match where the armband got passed around about 3 times, didn't it, as a former captain of the club. How difficult was it to keep your dignity? You never spoke out, you threw your toys out the bar. So what did that tell you about yourself?
Yeah, I think regarding the captaincy, I think when Eric took the captaincy off me, I don't think then I really wouldn't want to be in a position to take the captaincy off someone who's coming off the pitch, to be honest. So that wasn't a big deal at the time. I think in terms of my form, I think probably a 6 to 12 month period where my form wasn't as good as it has been in the previous 2 years, where it was excellent. But I think people still talk a lot about this comeback and things like that. But it's been 2 years now where I've been performing at a high level. Last season, every game I was available, I pretty much played, even under Eric. And I was a big blow when I couldn't miss the cup, when I missed the cup final for him. So it's been a couple of years now. I feel in a good place. I feel really comfortable at this club and with my surroundings and the pressure that's involved in it. It's an amazing club, and I'm really privileged and proud to be part of it.
Do you always believe there would still be these moments for you? You know, a major European final. Did you believe that, even because there was a point where it looked like might leave? You know, did you believe these would still come here?
No, definitely. I always believed. I always was playing for my country in major tournaments. I went to Qatar and played a big part in reaching a quarter final and played every minute and performed really well. So, yeah, really the belief that it come from maybe at that time was playing for my country. So obviously credit to Gareth in showing his faith and trust in me during that period. But I must say I felt like I was playing really well for my country, even through my negative times at this club. So no, it's nice to be back playing. It's nice to be back helping the team. That's the most important thing. And like you say, it's a big cup final and one that I'm looking forward to.
Played Spurs 3 times this season. You've lost all 3. What makes you believe that this time will be different?
Listen, we know they're a good team on their day. They've suffered as well this season in the Premier League. They've had a lot of injuries like ourselves. They've not been really to find that rhythm, and they've concentrated on the Europa League as well. So similar situations in terms of the league form. Yeah, they've beat us 3 times. I can remember, I think it was the last game under Ruben at their place, and I think we was really unlucky that day, to be honest. I think we was arguably the better team. It was a bit of a ding-dong match, and they took their chances and we didn't, and found ourselves a couple of goals down and chasing the game. But no, we believe in ourselves. We believe that we can beat anybody on our day, but we know this season's been nowhere near good enough. But we've got to perform well, we've got to play well, we've got to prepare well, and we'll do the right things to enable us to give ourselves a great opportunity to win the game.
I'm sure Tottenham players will be saying the same things about this season not being good enough. It's obviously enormous for them as well as you. How do you not feel that weight on your shoulders, just how important this is? The trophy's what every player wants to win, but financially and everything else, it's bigger than just that.
Yeah, of course, it's a big game, but for us, we know it's such a big game for everyone, the fans, after such a disappointing season, the club. But we go into it and take it like a normal game, like we did in the semi-final against Bilbao. We prepare well every day, and when you get on that pitch, you give absolute everything, and that's only what you can do. The result will look after itself. We've got to really look after the performance. Listen, finals are finals. You know, they can change on moments or anything. You need that little bit of luck maybe. We could perform really well on day and get beat, or we could perform badly and win. But for sure, we've got to make sure that we put the percentages in our favour in terms of turning up, giving absolute everything and performing on the day.
I find it for me, there'll be thousands of fans travelling over, going all kind of weird, wonderful routes. You've had supporters sticking with the team, throwing the support behind Ruben Amorim throughout the very difficult moments you've had. I mean, how impressed have you been by that? Well, has it not surprised you, given what you've seen in the past?
No, they've been absolutely incredible this season. It is surprising us players how much they are backing us. We've disappointed them far too much. We've given them some good times in the Europa League and some great memories in terms of winning the derby at the Etihad and things. But no, it's even surprised me. I know that I say they're the greatest fans in the world. I think this year they've proved that. It's been remarkable when we get to play in front of them, even though we're not performing, and that's why I think we deserve it. They deserve it, and we deserve everything we do to give them the great opportunity to go and win the cup final and give them that day out. And it's only a good day out, like you say, if we come back and win the tournament.
Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.